my best friends. Yeah. No, we had dinner with Ron and Oscar. For Jess and I.
Good morning. I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome you to the Commissioners Board meeting for May the 14th. We are in person and also broadcasting live via Microsoft Teams Town Hall and also through Berks Community Television. At this time, we'll begin the meeting with a moment of silence, followed by a pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll recognize my executive assistant, Veronica Lepore, to read the public comment notice.
Good morning. Thank you. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used, Teams Q&A. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Veronica. Are there any additions or corrections for the May 7th, 2026 meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have an executive session yesterday, May the 13th, dealing with personnel and security. I will note that Commissioner Rivera is not able to be with us today. Do we have any public comment on specific agenda items? None in person. I don't see any online. So we'll move right into the agenda. Item 1, authorizing under that budget. Adopt a resolution authorizing 2026 appropriations in the amount of $810,867 per listing dated May the 8th of 2026. Under purchasing, we have one item. Adopt a resolution authorizing a recommendation to award and further authorizing the Director of Contracts and Procurement to execute a one-year contract resulting from a request for proposal for the Career Pathway and Work Experience Program for temporary assistance for needy families, eligible young adults for the Pennsylvania Career Link, Berks County, as follows. And that goes to Arbor E&T LLC, doing business as Equus Workforce Solutions out of Louisville, Kentucky. The total is not to exceed $388,221.25 for fiscal year July 1 of 26 to June 30th of 27. Several items listed under Human Resources. Item 1, authorize the promotion of Jennifer Savage, who's sitting here, from Senior Financial Analyst to Financial Manager, Budget and Finance. Congratulations. Glad to see you stepping up. We appreciate that. Item 2, authorize the promotion of Rebecca Dorsey from Health Choices Project Manager to Health Choices Program Director in Health Choices. And item 3, authorize the transfer of Julia Schmidt from Solicitor for Elected Official, Coroner's Office, to Assistant County Solicitor in the Solicitor's Office. There's several items listed under the Commissioners. Item A, Adopt a resolution authorizing Kevin S. Barnhart, Chief Operations Officer, to execute the conflict of interest waiver and consent form between NAI Keystone Commercial and Industrial LLC, 600 Penn Street, LP, and the County of Berks. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing Laura Jones, Chief Financial Officer, or in her absence, Kevin S. Barnhart, Chief Operations Officer, to execute the Travelers Government Entity Crime Renewal Application for excess crime coverage from July 1 of 26 through July 1 of 27. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the exoneration of 2025 county property taxes and associated penalties costs in the total amount of $807.74 for 96 Crest Drive, Boyertown, PA 19512. The parcel is owned by Jeanette Blaine. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing execution of the collective bargaining agreement between the County of Berks and SEIU Healthcare Pennsylvania, effective January 1 of 2025 through January 31st of 2029, representing non-management and non-supervisory full-time, regular part-time, and part-time registered nurses and licensed practical nurses employed at the Brookside Nursing and Rehabilitation. Item E, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the local workforce development board's one-stop partners memorandum of understanding for the period of July 1, 26 through June 30th of 29. Item F, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the local workforce development board's one-stop partners operating budget and infrastructure funding agreement for the period July 1 of 26 through June 30th of 2027. Item 2, a motion to authorize the execution of contract agreements amendments as set forth in the contract agenda listing dated May the 11th of 2026. There are a total of 13 contracts. There are 3 with the Area Agency on Aging. There are 3 with Facilities and Operations. There's 2 with Information Systems. There are 2 with Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities. There are 2 with Planning and 1 with the Solicitor's Office. Item 3, a motion to authorize the execution of payments and electronic transfers for the week ending May 15th of 2026. Item 4, a motion to authorize the execution of employee payroll disbursements dated May 19th of 2026. Item 5, a motion to authorize the execution of tax collector payroll dated May 15th of 2026.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I will second that motion. The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. We'll move now to reports of our treasurer and our controller. We'll begin with our treasurer, Mitch Darcourt. Mitch.
Thank you, Commissioner. Today, we have an opening balance of $310,537,949.58. We have a balance to clear of $7,476,708.50, leaving us with a balance of $303,061,241.08. Thank you.
So Mitch, I think this probably be the high mark for the year. It's
Probably will be the high mark, and
normally happens right about
hopefully
now.
this time next year, we'll have 295 million in 6 months. How about that, Commissioner? No spending.
No spending. Yeah, that's it. Hey, if we could do that, no spending between now and the next 2 months, that would be amazing. But no, that is
That's our
high
high mark.
water mark.
As much as I've seen since I've been the treasurer.
Yep.
Last year, right at this time was like 305, I believe.
No, and it's a good sign when times are tough.
Right.
You tend to see a lot of people going past the discount period and often into the penalty period. We haven't seen that in quite a while, and these are good to see. Thank you. With that, we'll move to our Berks County Controller, Joe Rutterow, with the Controller's Report.
Thank you, Chairman Linebach. For the week ending May 15th, 2026, we have an accounts payable and total cash disbursement of $19,254,141.49. Thank you.
Very good. I have on my agenda a report from our COO. I'm going to turn that over to our chief clerk. Since she works for the COO, I'm sure you have all kinds of things to share with us.
Nothing to report at this time. Thank you.
She didn't know I was going to do that, but she's kind of used to me, I think.
I am. And I will note, both Kevin and Larry are at administrators conference with Jessica Weekneck and Tim Smith in State College.
Very good. Thank you. So two commissioners' reports, several items I want to touch on. One, and we talked about this briefly at the prison board meeting yesterday. When it comes to ICE, relative to the warehouse in Upper Bern Township, there's nothing new. We've heard nothing. There's been no communication from Congressman Muser to me in the last 3+ weeks, and we've heard nothing from DHS. So we've promised from time to time we would give updates, and if we hear something new, we will share that. Secondly, I've been participating so far in 2 Planning Commission regional meetings. They're holding a number of them throughout the county of Berks, meeting with municipal leaders, zoning officers, some engineers are at these meetings. We had some attorneys at the one I attended this morning, but I attended one, and they're listed by different regions, over in Robizonia, actually, but that region, and these presentations are pretty impressive. The planning department has stats specific to that region, relative to population growth or decline. Interestingly enough, the first 2 I attended have declines in population. They're largely more rural than say the greater Reading area, but very well attended in both cases. This morning I was down in Boyertown at the Boyertown Museum of Historic Vehicles, met with folks in that area. I left early versus the one in Robizonia. We have all of our partners are presenting and then opening it up to Q&A and comments. I know that you've been to at least one of them because they told me that you were there. You did a welcome as well. These are very important. Number one, it really shows the effort on our part of our planning department and other related entities. The Department of Ag participates in these meetings and presents. The Realtors Association presents on housing. The Berks County Industrial Development Authority presents on industrial development. And all of them focus, well, they give some countywide data, but they really focus on the data in that region, and then get an opportunity to hear questions, concerns, et cetera, from people in the region. So I want to really compliment Ashley Showers, Leo Scott, her deputy, and the entire planning team. They've done a great job. I think I'm going to one more Monday night just down the road from where I live in Hamburg. I kind of have to show up at the one in my backyard, but these are very well done, and I'm impressed for the county that we have staff that put things like this together. Also, we had a town hall on Tuesday evening, also in Boyertown. I thought the town hall went very well. We had a great turnout. dealt with a number of issues. Focus was around the Colebrookdale Railroad. Ellen Morgani was there from Building a Better Boyertown, and really made it very clear that that operation is the economic anchor for that community. I met the owners of the Brakeman Cafe. That's a little restaurant right across from the Colebrookdale Railroad. They both, husband and wife, owned it. They told me that's why they exist. They put that business in, and there are a number of businesses like that. But it was a good meeting. I don't think anything really controversial. Good questions, good turnout. That is our last town hall until September. I'm not even going to worry about announcing that one, but June, July, August, we take off of the town hall. One other thing I want to share, and I'm going to share some data first. Last week I was away. I was at a NACO board meeting. There were a number of different things that we went over. One of the things that I'm looking into, Nationwide did a presentation. They have a new program, and I'm going to have to share this with Kim Fees in our ag department. It's called Land as Your Legacy, where they work to help family-owned agribusinesses plan for the transfer to the next generation. I was actually surprised by this. I didn't even know that they were working on something. They launched that and talked about that extensively. There was a lot of discussion around disaster preparation, disaster recovery. I'm going to share a video in a minute that will help understand how different most of the counties are in the rest of the country when it comes to public safety and disaster response. On federal legislation, this is pretty surprising, and this was emphasized by Erin Hurley, who heads up our legislative affairs for the nation. I've known her for quite some time. Really brilliant lady. If you ask the average person, is anybody on either side of the aisle talking to each other in Washington these days, what do you think most people are going to say? No, probably not. Well, there is a major housing bill that has been introduced. It's called the 21st Century Road to Housing Act. The co-sponsors, listen to this carefully, are Senator Tim Scott, Republican from South Carolina, and Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat from Massachusetts. Two people on pretty much what you would consider the opposite side. This piece of legislation has major traction in both the House and the Senate. They gave me the names of, and I forgot to write them down. I didn't know the names of the two House members, but it's the same thing. One Republican, one Democrat, companion bill in the House. They're looking at all kinds of issues around housing. But right now, it's something that the National Association of Counties is watching very closely because of the challenges across the country, not just here in Berks, as it relates to housing. She also shared some of the things that are coming up. Reconciliation, which is a major part of the budget process, is actively being worked on at this point in time. There are a number of annual appropriation bills that they're beginning to work on for 2027. One of the major things that NACO's been involved in is the FEMA Reform Act. There are some concerns within that, but NACO, before even President Trump was elected, former NACO President James Gore from Sonoma County, California, had made FEMA reform his number one priority. There have been all kinds of issues. And at the conference I attended, we heard from a couple counties who had their FEMA disaster 6 years ago and still haven't been paid. They've had to front, and that's been very common. You'll see that in a minute when I show the video. Surface transportation bill expires the end of September. That's actively being worked on. We do not anticipate it being approved in time. It will likely go into a continuing resolution. That's what I'm going to touch on, and I'll share the video as I bring this video up. Give me a second here. See if I get an echo. Do I still have an echo? Damn thing. Now they heard that. Okay. Let me just explain what you're going to see. This is a video talking about what counties do relative to disaster response. Keep in mind that in Pennsylvania, we are very, very different. Public safety, fire, police, and EMS are the responsibilities of municipalities. So you're going to see some things here that are not consistent with what we do here in Pennsylvania. And I'm not using this to say one's right, one's wrong. This focuses in on the end on the need for a partnership between the federal government, state government, and local government to be able to appropriately and timely answer disaster needs. And you might be shocked at some of the data on the size and frequency of disasters that are occurring recently. So now I forgot to put the sound in. Okay.
Across America, natural disasters are increasing in frequency and cost. And when trouble strikes and lives are disrupted, counties are ready on the front lines. From preparation to recovery, counties are there every step of the way. Before a crisis begins, we're already in the community, readying shelters, training workers, checking on vulnerable neighbors, and planning for all possible outcomes. We rigorously test and strengthen our emergency response to meet every moment, so when it's time to act, we move fast and with purpose. When an emergency occurs, and every second counts, counties are there, rescuing families, setting up first aid centers, and restoring essential services. Nearly 500,000 first responders, emergency personnel, and volunteers stand ready at all hours of the day. When conditions turn dangerous, we jump into action and stay until the job is complete. When the storm passes and immediate danger subsides, county leaders remain. We stand with our communities and local businesses, helping families rebuild, clearing waste and debris, and safeguarding our most vulnerable neighbors. Recovery isn't about rebuilding what was lost. It's about empowering our communities to have a stronger tomorrow. But recovery comes at a cost. Counties shoulder the bulk of the rebuilding effort. In 2024 alone, the U.S. experienced 27 weather-related disasters, where damages exceeded $1 billion each, costing over $182 billion in total damages nationwide. This is far beyond our local means. That's why counties cannot do this alone. Strong, consistent partnerships across every level of government are essential to long-term recovery. Protecting every community requires partnerships. Counties work side by side with every level of government: local, state, tribal, and federal. We believe in the power of collaboration in order to improve preparedness, pool resources, sharpen response times, and rebuild more efficiently. We are stronger together. For every county, community, and family in America, now is the time for us to come together. We are all America's counties.
Very well done. And I share that. That's part of the FEMA message, that it can't just simply be federal government hands off. It's now the responsibility of states and municipalities. Do understand that in Pennsylvania, there is a county component to disaster, and that comes down to our Department of Emergency Services, the 911 center, the hazmat team, but we are not tasked like most counties. I can't tell you how many different county leaders I've spoken to throughout the country. This is one of the major issues. It's one of the reasons I actually prefer living where I do. I don't know if you've ever, we had the snow earlier this year. I saw somebody post, we don't have alligators, we don't have earthquakes, we don't, as a rule, have tornadoes. There's just so much we don't have to deal with that coastal communities that do, that communities that struggle with rainfall, dealing with horrific wildfires. And the response, the core response is on the backs of counties. I've met county leaders that have had a single event cost more than their entire county annual budget. How do you do that? And then in many cases, they have to borrow the money to wait for reimbursement from state or federal government if it's a declared disaster. But in some cases, like we had in 2023, I want to say July 9th of 2023 at Antietam, you have such a localized event that is absolutely devastating to a very small community, but it doesn't meet the standard for an emergency declaration. So most of the federal or state assets that would become available aren't available. And so the local community, in this case municipalities, have to deal with that. So that's why I share that. I think it's important to understand the disaster issue, also to help us understand some of the differences. But in the end of the day, our municipalities need that partnership, not just with the county, but with the state and with the federal government. You also notice whenever we talk about counties in a broad sense in the country, tribal is always listed. And that's because there are hundreds of thousands of acres of tribal lands, and they have their own local governance as well. And I've met with individuals from those tribal communities as well in the past. That is all that I have to share, and I will turn it over to Commissioner Dante Santoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. Just a couple things to talk about. Last Friday, I had the opportunity, along with many of some county employees, to go to the Berks County Jail to participate in National Correctional Officers and Employees Week Memorial Service. Very somber occasion and well attended, and it was the last day of our former now Warden Smith. So we wish him the best. But it was an event to give notice and show the importance of all the challenges that our correctional officers go through, and also to remember those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in their job. So that was a great event to be at. Also had the opportunity this past week to attend the Breakfast of Champions at for the YMCA. I just want to give a shout out to some of the award winners. Winton Butler from the NAACP and also the Reading School District. Dr. Susan Looney was honored. Doug Doms, longtime coach and teacher at Wilson High School. Company Schlau Incorporated and Mid-Penn Bank, and the student award went to her name is beloved Lenora Pear, very active member of the Wilson School District, and they were all honored. Also honored was the award-winning YMCA swim team, and recognized as one of their leaders and great coaches is one of our own, Cody Kaufman. He's not just a great lawyer; he's a great swim coach. So Cody was mentioned. He was working at the time, so he couldn't attend, of course. But we want to congratulate Cody on that. Last night, commissioners were in attendance at the GRCA annual dinner. Mike Massimino was the speaker. It was great. He was a astronaut on the Hubble telescope. And I always thought that Christian Leinbach was the most famous Leinbach, but apparently that's not the case. He has a cousin. You can talk about that if you like, Mr. Chairman, that was involved with astronaut Massimino on the Hubble space mission.
Yeah, he was for many years, the launch director for NASA for multiple shuttle missions. And Mike Massimino, I met with him beforehand, took a picture, sent it to Mike Leinbach, and later in the evening, Mike Leinbach got back to me, let me know what a great guy. He calls him Mass. That's his nickname. But what's really fascinating, Mike Massimino, I don't know if it was first or second flight. He had 2 flights in the shuttle. I think the first one was on Columbia. Columbia was the shuttle that crashed on its very next mission over Texas. And Mike Leinbach was the shuttle director for both of those and wrote a book that I highly recommend called Bringing Columbia Home. And it's more, it talks about the investigation and everything, but it's more about dealing with the recovery and the communities in Texas and how they responded. It's an unbelievable book, but it was kind of funny when I walked up to him and said, do you know Mike Leinbach? And the chances of this happening are, he said, sure. Oh, yeah. I went to school with him. I haven't seen him for 43 years. And I'm thinking, yeah, but you were in a shuttle mission. How could you not see him? And then I said, well, have you read his book? And he said, he wrote a book? I said, yeah, Bringing Columbia Home. He says, oh, that Mike Leinbach. So he went to school with a Mike Leinbach, which is a different Mike Leinbach, and then Mike Leinbach, the shuttle, the NASA launch director for multiple shuttle missions. But he was a fun speaker.
It was good. Yeah, he talked about his career and very humble, down to earth, and we enjoyed that. A couple other quick things. My County Connections BCTV taping. I did it this week, and it's going to be shown on Monday, May the 18th at 6:30. My guests this month were Berks County's own Jay Ostrich and Will Tobin from our Veterans Group to talk about, of course, about veterans issues and the many things that they provide. Related to that, this Saturday, I'll be participating in the Armed Forces Day Parade, the largest Armed Forces Day Parade in the nation. Kicks off from 8th and Penn Street in West Reading, goes down Penn Avenue. So please get there if you are able. On Wednesday, May the 20th, Reading Public Library is having their Celebrity Bartender fundraiser at Saucony Creek. If you're available from 5 to 7, stop by. And my last item is Tuesday, May 19th is primary election day. If you haven't voted, make sure you get out there and vote for democracy. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, and that is all I have.
You're very welcome. I should mention, I don't know the last time I missed the Armed Forces Day Parade, but I have a nephew, Johnny Leinbach, that is getting married like at 10 o'clock in the morning. So there's absolutely no way that I could pull off the Armed Forces Day Parade. And I'm a big believer that family has to come first. So I will not be there. I saw that both you and I believe Commissioner Rivera are going to be there. All the best. The weather looks good.
Hope
It isn't
so.
always great.
No, last year I think it rained.
Yeah,
The year
but-
before, I forget.
So all the best.
Yeah.
Comments from our row officers.
I don't have anything at this time.
Nothing to offer, Commissioner.
And JD is good. Well, thank you. We have no public comment in person. Let me check. I don't think there's nothing online either. So that brings us to the end of our agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn.
The meeting stands adjourned.